Should be good.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we get started, we're going to face the east. Give all praise, honor, and glory.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Them honors go out to the apostles, elders, great millstone, who teach well, taught us well. Peace salutations to the hopefully elect. All right, Sunday, not Saturday, but camp. Because work got to get done. We're just going to go into the regular things that you probably heard the men of the Lord talk about a million times. If the Lord has it like that, we'll talk about it a million more fucking times. I mean, what are you going to do about it? There you go. Prophets are going to prophesy. That's the job of the prophets. And yes, we are prisoners of hope, and we are waiting for the day of our release.
Yeah.
So we're going to earnestly prophesy the downfall of Babylon. But there's more than just destruction that's coming. Because you'll constantly hear us talk about death and plagues, because that's all throughout the scriptures. Because we're in the time of judgment because our people are rebellious, right? But there's a lot to hope for. There's a lot of great things that's going to come to those that wait, right? If you could you actually get something real quick? You don't mind?
Yeah.
King David, he said, "Wait, I say on the Lord." I think it's Psalms 30. But that's all we can do is wait. It's either that or go back into the world. But at the end of the day, everybody, like even talks about in Romans, the creation groaneth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Everything, everything around you is earnestly waiting for Yahushua to return and to set things back in its proper order.
Psalm 27, and I'm going to start at 14. It says, wait on the Lord, be of a good courage, but he shall strengthen thy heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord.
And I said, be of a good courage. Like it says in Proverbs 28:1, the righteous will stand bold as a lion. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're out here, in the face of all of our enemies. Now we don't have personal problems with these people. Somebody walk by. I don't know you from a can of paint. All right, but in their spirit, they hate us because they hate the light. All right, I was talking about that. Who knows greater than him? Of course, the Heavenly Father. But I'm saying Yahushua was hated. All right, he was persecuted. You see? And he said the servant is not greater than his master. So we're going to have to go through the same type of things, same events. Not literally the exact same, we're not going to be crucified, but we're going to be tried. We're going to have our, what was it? When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to have the darkest hour. That's what it was. You can go ahead and second that, Ross. No, you go.
I got something real quick. Ezekiel 35:1 says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood, good Lord, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So like you said, what else are we going to do but prophesy? Like the brother's saying, prophets prophesy. And if you're mad that we're actually fulfilling the role of the prophets that you're falsely claiming to do, well, nigga, go do some more work. Instead of talking shit, saying that we're always talking shit about the other camps because y'all don't do the work of the Lord.
That's the job. That's the law. Because you guys always talk about the law. Well, it says in Leviticus 19 to not suffer sin upon your neighbor.
Right.
We're supposed to rebuke you. All right. That's because we want you to do right. We rebuke each other. Because the apostle always say, we
get on our camp before,
Apostle God said it. We get more on Great Millstone members than you other guys. You just don't see it. Yeah, you just don't see it because not everything needs to be fucking videotaped. That's another problem with you other guys, man.
Yeah.
Right, you just air everything out. And we don't even. A lot of times we don't even know what the hell you guys are thinking, man. Going on all these different podcasts, talking to these different degenerate zombies that that's against the scriptures. Like it says in Amos, can two walk together except they be agreed? You ain't got no business talking to no damn he's an Israelite, but he's in a Hamite mindset.
Yeah.
That Pharaoh sitting like that, like all that bullshit, man. Yeah, we're not fucking with it. And that shit's old. How long are we gonna continue to talk about them same damn stupid ass ideologies? Like you said, the Kemet, people want to keep bringing up the virgin birth. So you didn't watch the first 10 billion videos that the apostles and others put out on it. It's clear.
Nah.
How many times we got to go into it? And certain scriptures cut that dead in its tracks.
How you gonna be able to see line, but
With no seed.
born, yeah, but you're born immaculate. That's some bullshit. That's their Christian dog bullshit. You know, they keep you in the dead state of mind. That's what's happening. And then, I mentioned something. I'll get that for last. But I'm gonna get what you want because we're tearing down strongholds. So I'm gonna start right here. It says, "Vengeance on the wicked." 2nd Ezra 15:1. This is the Revised Standard Version. It says, "The Lord says, Behold, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I'll put in thy mouth."
So that's just what we're sent to do. Simply that. So you people get mad, but this was a commandment from the Lord to us to tell you, to warn you. All right, because what happened, when prophets of old didn't want to prophesy, big one comes up Jonah. Right? We're not going to get judged, because we want to be PC and hold our tongue. All right, the Lord has put a spirit in us to be bold and to come out here and prophesy and tell you these different things are coming. And we're not going to be out here much longer either. That's another thing. And before you know it, you're going to miss us. That's one thing Elder's been going into recently too. Once we're off the streets, you guys are going to wonder, well, where are they? They always hold camp right there.
They shall wander to and fro.
Yeah, trying to seek the word of the Lord and shall not find it. You're not going to find the Lord, which means that strong tower ain't going to be there. Even if you know the names, because Yahushua said that in Matthew. He said some will say, Lord, Lord, and they're not going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And you had have we not prophesied in thy name? But you didn't continue to push the plow, right? Because that's worse than a scoffer, a man that gives up on the Lord.
Like that dude that's coming up now.
I regard you.
Yeah, I regard you. And all of a sudden, he's supposed to be this decorated war veteran of the One West School.
No, you abandoned the battlefield.
Yeah, you quit. Our apostles are still teaching. You should be amongst them, but you're not because you quit. You gave up.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna try to come back and you're a reborn Christian, but still trying to like the apostles say that all the time, man. Y'all need to focus on your in-house matters. The Christian church is terrible. Focus on your pastors molesting children. Don't come over here and try to control and dictate what we have going on within our house, within our camps. And the same thing goes to you other Israelite camps. Y'all need to tackle that Genesis shit. And, Sakari and your leader, likes to be played with in the butt. Tackle that shit, then come and try to say something about Great Millstone.
Saying nothing.
But exactly, yeah. What can you say?
You guys keep saying the same old false accusations that have still yet to be proven to this day. We're waiting for seed of David still.
Yes. And it's hopefully that nigga's just off the earth.
Yeah.
But
damn, so they were right. They didn't do that.
Yeah. And if he is, he's in a better mind.
Like brothers always say, if that was actually the case, we would have been under the jail by now.
Yes.
Like we're not some mischievous criminals, mastermind. No, man. Like what?
And nothing's came out against any brother.
Oh, yeah.
Even ex-members. Not to that extent.
Either they not doing the work or they just doing the work but unruly.
Yeah. They just over there bugging.
They're not doing all that extra.
But yeah, never once is there a great accusation coming up.
It says, verse 2, it calls them to be written on paper, for they are trustworthy and true.
And that's what we're reading. That's talking about the Bible, which that connects with Romans 15:4. These things were written aforetime for our learning. So we're able to look at these things, to examine these scriptures and apply them to our lives now. And even all, because it shows everything in the Bible. A big one recently too is you have many righteous men, and it accounts their mistakes that they made, showing you that nobody's perfect except Yahushua. Yeah. The King David was a man after the Lord's heart, but he was still he committed adultery and he committed murder. But the Lord doesn't hold that against him. All right, that's not going to blot out his righteousness. The Lord is willing to wink at your ignorance. So we got to stop. beating ourselves down. We already have enough people trying to beat us down. We don't need to beat ourselves too.
1 Corinthians 10 and 13, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that you may be able to bear it.
Yeah. So the Lord is never going to put you in a situation where you don't have the tools to overcome that. Whenever you feel like, all right, man, this is enough. Like, damn, no, this is exactly where you need to be. The furnace of adversity is just that, a furnace. It's hot, it hurts, it sucks. That's how it works. There's no growth in comfortability. None whatsoever. And that's we need to stop trying to seek comfortability in carnal measures, in carnal things. And that's easier said than done. And then of course it's still a balance. But we need to understand that all we truly have is the how about you now, God. We have nothing else for us. So continue to do the work and just buckle down. All it means when you go into the etymology of the word endure, it says remain in existence. So the Lord didn't say he needs to see your teeth. He didn't say you need to be laughing. He just said you need to stay there and just take these punches. That's it. And just stick around and you're going to see the Lord deal with you and grow you. Continue to build your faith. And then when the time of Jacob's trouble fully kicks off on the level that we read in the scriptures, we're going to be on a certain level to where that scripture is still going to apply. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 is going to apply to that. Any situation you find yourself in the time of Jacob's trouble is not above that you're able. Because the Lord always, just like even in video games, the boss might be level 82. It's like, holy shit, that's an insane level. But the Lord gave you certain weapons and shields to take down that man. And it's going to be tough. Might have to restart the last checkpoint, but you're going to complete it. At the end of the day, you're going to overcome through Yahushua.
Second Ezra 16, and I'm going to start at 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
And that's another thing. That's going to show that a lot of you guys don't actually believe. When Esau starts trying to put belt to ass, you're going to denounce the Lord in a heartbeat, and you're going to take that fucking chip. But the true men of the Lord are going to withstand that. All right, they're not going to allow the persecution of the world and of Esau Edom to make them forfeit their faith. All right, like it says in Romans, nothing can separate us from the love of Yahushua, of Yahushua. Nothing.
It says, did I read that full verse? I forgot. Sorry. Verse 7.
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'll just read.
Yeah, I will. Second Ezra 16 and 70. But there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall it be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And that's why I read that, because you're going to be tried, tested. You're going to be tempted, but the Lord's going to make a way for you to escape. The elect, not the whole nation, not the 2/3, the elect of Israel. And so, you was reading about how, basically just do the work, because you're going to lose everything that you have. And guess what? Even if you was to take the ship, you're still going to lose everything, because this place is going to be destroyed. So,
yeah, so you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
Either you're going to willfully forfeit these things for Yahweh Shema Shai's sake, you're going to put them on the altar to sacrifice them, or the Lord is going to take them from you. And then he's going to destroy you. See, if you forfeit these things, the Lord is not going to destroy you. And the Lord isn't saying, drive your car to Mexico from Canada. All right, the Lord just wants you to sacrifice your time and energy here and there. It's not even an every day we do sacrifice, but I'm saying on a grand, large scale. How often do you really have to throw yourself on the table on that type of level? The Lord don't require much. Like Yahushua said, the burden is light. His yoke is easy. But when you think about it, everything that we have to sacrifice is really little compared to what we're going to receive. All right, we're literally giving forth a dollar to be the next Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
That's all, and that's all it takes. But a lot of our people ain't willing to give the simplest pleasures up. That woman, all right, they're not willing to sacrifice a Saturday, well, technically before, but every Saturday, you got 6 other days, well, except the Sabbath. All right, but even on the Sabbath, you can still do certain things that you want, as long as it's, not work or sex, buying some crazy shit, go buy a TV on the Sabbath. You can't do that. Okay, but you can still watch a movie or some shit at the crib. You can still, have fun, so to speak, within reason. The Lord don't require much out of you.
Sabbath is for men too.
Yeah.
So
it's not supposed to be a burden.
Yep.
Esau is the one that turns it on to a burden for us, because back, in the ancient world, everybody be off work. Food would already be prepared for you. Everybody just be able to kick back and chill.
Yep.
Enjoy time with your kids. The fucking living room and shit. That's what the Sabbath is for. And then, of course, for the Lord, because you got to put time for the Lord every day, but it's not 18 hours. Esau requires more physical labor from you than the Lord.
One day, fucking 12 hours.
Yeah.
Multiple days, 10 hours.
That check's you already know that check's going to something before you even got it. And I know next week, fucking 75% of this shit is gone. You didn't even get paid yet. But the Lord, everything we're about to receive, it's never going to be gone. This is a forever shit. This is a forever thing. Like, well, if you don't mind, let me get this one. Well, you can keep it.
I got something else real quick. This is Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. So arise ye and depart." And it's not saying to leave America, leave so-called judgment. It's ain't leave no judgment. Amos 5 told you that. Wherever you're gonna go, judgment's gonna follow, especially if you're Israelite. So it ain't no running. Really everybody, but the Lord cares about his nation first. Yeah, the wicked don't get it, but the wicked of his people, and really too, the righteous, some of us are gonna lose our lives, but it's for a good purpose. You're fulfilling Revelation 24. Other scriptures, the ones that basically went to the mercy with me, they're gonna receive a double, 100-fold. So, arise ye depart spiritually at this place. You're an Israelite, and you understand this word, and it resonates with the spirit, could be the fucking hope. Or if you smoke weed, drugs, whatever you're doing, that's heathenistic, stop doing it. Come back to the Lord. That's what it's talking about. The rise, rise to the part spiritually.
Sirach, or Ecclesiastes 18 and verse 9 to 10, and I'm going to jump down. Well, yeah. All right, verse 9, it says, the number of a man's days at the most are 100 years. That damn sure don't even really apply today. Most people don't make it anywhere close to 100. And then let's say you do make it to 100, you barely can do shit. Look at all the things that Abraham was able to do at 100 years old. You can't do that now, right? Because you're a body. So why do you want to remain in these bodies? I don't give a fuck if you're the most handsome, swole, dark-skinned dude. You on a magazine cover. Your body's still shit. All right, it's still nothing compared to the bodies that we're going to receive, the incorruptible bodies that Yahweh Shemel Shai has promised unto us. It's nothing compared to it.
Okay.
Shit. All right, verse 10, it says, as a drop of water onto the sea and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. So exactly, like a drop in the ocean, that's 1,000 years to the days of eternity. It's incomparable. That's how long we're going to have to be with Yahweh Shemel Shai in perfection. That's when the new covenant is actually going to be established. That's when we're never going to have to. Can you imagine never having to worry about anything ever again in your life? Never any more pain? A lot of brothers you see on the camera doing lessons, going to camp, they're in some sort of pain. Jake's body's always be fucked up, hurting. Different random shit just befalls you. We're tired of Babylon. We don't want to be here no more. So we're not in the spirit of taking that chip to continue our fucking suffering here. We're ready to get out.
It said that up there a lot of times in death, because to be honest, we hate our fucking selves. For the stuff that we did, because the backing up about our bodies. This is 2 Peter 2:4. It says, for if God, oh God, I thought about something. That old Christian doctrine. the angels falling from heaven, that bullshit. It says, for God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. That's not going into the fallen angels, guys. All right? It's going into the Israelites, the sons of God, falling from their estate. We fell from our estate. What happened? These bodies are the chains of darkness. We're not in our glorious body. Like, if we elect or will, we helped create the world. We were actually angels, wanted to be a part of the first fruits, helping the Lord create everything. We fell from that, you know, and so we are in these chains of darkness. We're subject to, sicknesses, elements, we have slavery.
Yeah, something to Esau.
Esau, because when we was following the law, statutes, commandments, and so forth, the enemies they couldn't overthrow us.
From anywhere near us.
We had that God-like mentality. Even our body too. We live for a longer time. All that. So we fell from that, and now we're in chains of darkness.
So jumping down to verse 13, it says the mercy of a man, back in Sirach 18. It says the mercy the the mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh, which not literally. Well, I mean, even still, because the Lord, especially the other 16 nations after the 1,000 years, and then even Esau, because he's not having mercy on Esau. When you think about it, Esau being deleted off the earth, that's good.
That's good for them.
Yeah, that's good for them. They don't need to continue to be a fucking worthless, wicked piece of shit, just walking around fucking people up for no reason.
And even the spirits that's playing the role of the Edomites, they're going to receive some mercy too, because they're going to go off into other nations. Because the Lord created man and woman spirit. That's it. Not baby spirits. No. When you're born on this side, come back as a baby. That's the process.
No baby
No, that shit is off. Esau's a pedo, having babies, naked baby. That's the whole
spirit don't age. How the hell your spirit doesn't physically grow.
Yeah.
Now your spirit spiritually grows, when it comes to gaining wisdom from the Lord. But it, like brother said, it's not okay. So you're 3 years old, and your spirit's this tall. No, it don't work like that. That's just weird.
It's man and woman. So when the Lord eradicates them, their spirit can go into another nation, and that's just gonna be it. Then they're able to live somewhat righteous, because the other nations, they're not gonna be perfect in the kingdom, but they're gonna be doing a whole lot better. Because really, nations today, they're loyal unto their gods. They do follow them laws. They're hard on, hey, you do this, we're gonna kill you. The law says this, Allah said this, blah 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 blah. Or the fucking elephant that they worship said this.
Yeah.
You know how they be through worshiping cows, and they're somewhat loyal unto them gods, and they do their best. They doing better than the nation of Israel following their God. Talking about us as a whole. For all filth, we were all Gentiles with that mindset. But these other nations, they do a whole hard.
Yeah, even the elites.
Yeah,
they take their God seriously. Satan. I guarantee you, they're not a minute late to that damn ritual.
Yeah. They can.
Yeah. Or don't show up at all.
Don't show up. Yeah, don't show up.
Give up. Ain't done a video in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my woman, no. What the fuck that got to do with your videos?
What did you say about his job? You don't need any glasses.
There's been a million guys.
Yeah.
That the Lord ain't trying to hear the excuse.
Yeah.
Especially because he knows your whole situation. He put you in that situation. He ain't trying to hear that.
The story is written. It says, Lord, the author finished about me.
Imagine how I said that. Yeah, I ain't getting crucified today. I got to play. The fuck is that shit? Come on, man.
But guess what? If you would have did that, he would have had no place on the right hand of God. Yeah. But it wasn't written that way.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Come up with no sorry ass. It says, he reproveth and nurtureth and teacheth and bringeth again as a shepherd's flock. So yeah, so he's going to rebuke you, reprove you, man, and then sometimes physical chastise, different things that happen. But then he, like if your dad, beats you, he disciplines you, takes your Xbox away, all that shit, gives you a good spanking. Afterwards, eventually, he sees that you learned your lesson. He's going to grab you. Look here, all right, son. You're gonna do better. You know, we're gonna get this thing. He's there to guide you. He's not there to destroy you. So how much more the Heavenly Father? You know, the scriptures talk about that in I think Hebrews 12. Verse 14, it says, He hath mercy on them that receive discipline and that diligently seek after his judgments. Exactly. So the Lord is going to pay attention to those that are actually putting forth effort to please him. Because like it says in Baruch, which do you have some?
Oh well, it's something down the road. Okay. Like I'm gonna pull that, like bring it out later.
Go ahead and grab it.
Group 1 through 4. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endure forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
No, that's not confusing, right? That's a simple statement. If you leave the book, if you stop following the ways that I taught on you, you're going to die. There's nothing for you but death, right? And the Lord said, choose ye life. Right? The Lord doesn't want to destroy his people, but his people have forced his hand. The Lord is long suffering. But look how long he's been waiting for Jake to get right. I mean, we're talking about a very, very long time. And the Lord's not looking to wait no longer. You know, we're at the point now where, like it says in Isaiah, why should ye be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. So the Lord is in the position now to where, you know what, all my people that don't want to listen to me, they just got to be destroyed. And they're going to come back, you know, in the kingdom of heaven, because that's another thing you can't seem to get misconstrued. When we're saying that 2/3 won't receive mercy, we're saying on this side. We constantly tell you that they're going to come back through the loins of the elect. We never have we ever said that they're just going to be completely destroyed off of existence. No, they need to, like it says in 2 Ezra 9, that death by pain.
Isaiah 45:17, it wouldn't be true if we said that. It said all of Israel shall be saved. So the whole nation total is going to be saved. And two, how are we going to teach that all, well, how you say they're eradicated?
They're not going to exist.
Yeah, they're not going to exist no more. Well, that goes against what it said in Jeremiah. It said, Lord, get rid of the whole nation. Being like that's what I did. So no, all of Israel will be saved. Everything was created for the nation. The world, other planets is made for the nation of Israel. So it's not going to get rid of, the whole nation. But on this side, the vast majority of our people, they're wonderful. They have to because they're in those bodies. Change darkness, and even their spirits change up. It ain't no getting out of that, Then I got something for you.
Well, and we're reminded every day why. We see it, especially with the internet. That's why, a lot of times you have them days where it's like, all right, bro, I need to put this fucking phone down because I'm tired of seeing this shit. Because no matter what you're trying to watch or music you're listening to, something's going to pop up and it's going to be Jake doing some bugged out shit every day. Especially, it's becoming more and more prevalent, especially with the circumcision. It's like every week there's some bugged out thing that one of these camps is saying now. Every single week. Then you got vocab. He's always somewhere in the background. There's not a month that goes by where he's not doing something. Getting involved in Israel with some sick fantasy that he has. Which that's why you hear brothers say that this is Haman the Agagite. And you're not slick, man. If it didn't work back then with Mordecai, why the fuck would it work today?
Worse today too.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's gonna be way worse. And it's crazy. Music, just the music or something. Right now it's summer game. Has been in different cities. Looking at a fucking video with band coming out, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm looking at the main dress, it's a fucking dude. So now they letting sweet niggas in the marching bands being major arrests and shit. They wasn't like that when I was in school. So yeah, I got vexed. I couldn't even watch this shit no more, I'm gonna get this Ezekiel 33:11, and I'm going back to it for you. Okay. And I got another scripture for that for you. Salaki. I'm loaded up, right? No.
Shit. That's what we're here for.
Ezekiel 33 and 11, it says, say unto them, as I live, said the Lord power, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked. Now, when he's saying this, he's talking to his nation. He's not talking to the Edomite, the Hamite, the fucking Moabite, the Ammonite. No, he's talking to his people, the wicked of his people. He don't have no pleasure in putting you out of death. It says, but that the wicked turn from his way and live, repent. That's a verb. It says, turn ye from your evil ways, for a while will you die, O house of Israel. So the Lord's like, well, if you just turn back, wow, you won't have to worry about dying. But that's how the story was written, and we knew, well, we know that, many of our people, they gotta go. They've been in captivity way too long, and too many captivity.
They trust in oppression, like the scripture.
Yeah.
They want to be here. Mm-hmm. They want to continue to work. That's one thing that we've talked about too with the MOTB. You're gonna have Israelites take that just simply to continue to go back to the fucking factory and clock in.
Ridiculous.
Through. Just to continue to go get that big arch meal and destroy yourself even more. Just to continue to be in that band, knowing that you're not a damn woman or man or whatever the fuck you're trying to be.
Yeah, majorette.
We don't know what you are.
Got guy majorettes now. And man, bro, I was hot. That shit, no, it's not. No, that's crazy, bro. I'm gonna get this.
Band ain't no place for no damn.
Yeah, because band is militant, like how, especially like how we play. Really, we started marching band. Little side note of history, going back to Europe, when we ruled in Europe, we had marching bands and so forth. Hell, even in the scriptures, what to say, Asaph,
they had with Jericho. They had the trumpets.
Yeah, cymbals. The Lord said, play your instruments loud. That's why you niggas do that, because you're the Israelites. That's what it's a custom. That's part of our history. Marching band music. Martial arts. Now you got faggots. In there, and doing what we do.
Imagine that. You got a jiu-jitsu match, and the guy that's facing you is a moat. I don't want to do this no more.
I'm not gonna touch you, bro. If I feel a hand somewhere,
God forbid he's better than you. Yeah. And you know where he's gonna end up.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top.
Yeah. He gonna stay there. Oh, yeah. It's up. Get up, guys. Right. That nigga still laying on it.
Nigga looking in your eyes. Good match.
Yeah. In the ear. God damn.
Whisper in your ear. Good match.
God damn, bro. So they gonna
okay.
Because like how it says in Romans, the Lord gave them over to a vile affection. Yeah. So if the Lord gave you up to that spirit, to be honest, even if you Jake, it ain't no repentance from that. And if you do, it's a blessing, and you got to be grateful. Because when the Lord gives you up to something, like how it says in Jeremiah 5, they are revolted, which revolt means to go and cause warfare. You causing warfare against the Lord, they're revolted and gone. It ain't no coming back. I'm going to get this again. So we read Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endure forever. And I'm the next one. It says, all they that keep it shall come to life, but such as we shall die. And then one more thing, Ecclesiastes 12, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, the whole duty of the nation of Israel is to keep his commandments. That's our job, even during different times of history. And so-called going back 400 years ago, the Anglo-Saxons, the angelic sons of God. Look at what the Moors were doing. Yeah, the Moors were going out being Islamic, but they still had that. They knew that they were Israelites. They wouldn't eat no pork. And they had beards, more manly, more masculine. We are getting the man of our nation back together. The Lord's the man of our nation. So that's why this is important. We come right back into the holidays. So via Yahweh Hashem outside. And it's going to be forever. So it's best for you to get this. I've been some shit. It's best for you to get this right now so that you won't have to come back in the kingdom. After you miss the festivities. Watching the kingdom being real. Having the evilness of watching New Jerusalem come down and take over different nations and different lands. Because that's what's getting ready to happen. Watching all these other nations bow finally to Yahweh outside, and then us. That's what we're waiting on for. So just come back. All you got to do is come back. You know, at that first. Yeah. Just get that out, man. Just come back. Just get that out. Just come back. Verse 14, for God shall bring every work into judgment and every secret thing, whether it is good or whether it be evil. You know, so here's the Lord keep his commandments. And then I'm going back to the rule for it. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, Luke 4:2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
So is that not for your benefit? Being illuminated is a good thing. That's what's going to make us receive all the blessings of Deuteronomy 28 if we follow the Lord. And we're so far down in the hole now that if you're a man or a woman that believes on the Lord and you follow the Lord, you're not receiving any of those blessings still. Because our people and ourselves have done so much wickedness that it's to the point where we don't even, that doesn't even apply to us no more until we just get out of here. I mean, look at all the captivities. We had the whole fucking statue. Most of it ruled by Esau. You know, basically half of it. Greeks, Romans, which this is still Romans. Back again. You know, and stuff like that only happens in Rome, and that proves that. Bugged out. Big thing, all these sports events. You got the Colosseums, different architecture like the Capitol buildings. It's Rome all over again. And first and foremost, the spirit of pride. Because that's one thing Rome was big on. They were proud. Proud as all hell. You know, but the Lord is about to break those iron teeth. All right, which really we already see that. You know, and we're definitely going to see it, which we got to get into that too. We ain't got nothing. Job 20. Job 20. All right, start at verse 4. We got to get it.
Oh, yeah. You can put up on it, man. Job 20, about the triumph of the wicked is short.
Yeah. Like 25, where it talks about eating.
Yeah.
And then being struck with the
arrow. I mean, yeah.
No, I think it says bow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah. Job 20:4. Knowest thou not knowest thou not of this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite for a moment?
Yeah, so it's not going to last. It's not going to be prolonged. All right, like, and that's where the Revelations 12:12 comes in, because he knows that he has a short time. Time is being sped up for the elect's sake. This man is going to have to start making quicker decisions, and we're already seeing that. They keep flip flopping with this whole straight of horror moves thing, and before you know it, bread's going to be $15 fucking. You know, not literally necessarily bread, but we're going to see what's about to go down. This stuff is continuing. You got this heat wave, and especially next week when people are out celebrating, somebody's probably going to get faded as all hell and get a fucking heat stroke.
Fire, because you know fireworks, grass being dry if it don't rain, you know all that shit. Then you know firework wars gonna be judged and go out. You know
there's more earthquakes to come too.
Yeah, that's been going on. Heavy. And guess what? In Venezuela, which y'all are of the nation of Israel, Asher, and you get fucked up because y'all refuse to come right back to the Lord. And plus, a lot of you niggas hate the Southern Kingdom. You know, you think it's white, so on and so forth, you're white. You know, no. You're of the nation of Israel. You know, you went through the same shit. The whole head is sick. You know, even Issachar, y'all think y'all better than Judah. So on and so forth. Or just the Southern Kingdom, you know, and vice versa. You know, it's really part of the curses. And we need to get the fuck out of here. I'm sick. I've been seeing a lot of videos about, you know, niggas and so-called Latinos and this colorism thing. Look, this word has went out, like I said in Romans 10. It's done went out. And so everybody know who the fuck we are. It's not just blacks that are so-called, they call them. But it ain't just us that are Israelites. It's also the Latinos, Native Americans, in that order. That's who we are. I got it. You got, you want that, yeah. Job 20. I got something. Oh, no, Salaki. We was talking about how his time is short. Like at Revelation 12. Revelations 12:12. Therefore, rejoice in heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And so Esau Edom, he has a short time, and that lines up with that Job 20. Their time is short. It may seem like that it was long lived to us, it's long lived. You know, but to the Lord, it's really a short time. Well, 1 day is 1,000 years to him. So yeah. So he ain't been ruling that long. You know, and really America ain't been here that long. 20 years, what the fuck is that? China, the Moabites, their king has, been thriving for what, 2,000 or 1,000 years, 2,000 years?
And then how many of that 250 years has America actually been at peace? Yeah, it was like fucking 14 years. So, and it has nothing to show for it, and the vintage is failing. What were you about to say?
Combined. It's not, and it wasn't a straight up
No.
14. It wasn't consecutive.
It was
Even
like,
if it was, which like brother said, it's not. But let's say it was, it still ain't shit.
Yeah, compared to the other.
So you get born the 2 year, and by the time you're fucking 12, it's just cracking off. Like that, no.
and you talk have to go and fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Or they used to prepare kids for nuclear fallout.
Yeah.
You know that one song, Ashes to Ashes. Let's talk about nuclear destruction, turning you into ash, which that's really a prophetic song because that's what's about to come down.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna see that, but prior to the nuclear missiles, because that's just the cherry on top. There's gonna be a lot of different forms of judgment out here. I've been talking about water running out in America, like drinking water. Are you gonna see a famine pretty soon?
Mm-hmm.
Just even depression itself is a plague. When you think about it, a plague of the mind. When Esau shuts down these cities to where nobody can travel, that's depressing. Once you're back up in that crib, that's why during the time of the CV, personal deletion rates were at an all-time high.
But you couldn't go out. But really, that's the natural thing for you to be up in the crib. This world ain't made for you to just be out all fucking day. You're not working. You're going out partying bullshit. America gives you that party bullshit. Even to this day, with all this shit going on, you're still able to go shopping and do all this fucking. Life ain't really about that. Life is about you being at home, building on your garden, having a fucking palace or I don't want to say a hut, but because you still got houses and homes and stuff, but it's about you actually living, you being at home, you have cattle,
And
land,
animals.
you know what I'm saying? You making your own clothes. That's how life's supposed to be. You sell them. You got markets. We're gonna have markets in the kingdom. It's gonna be a regular lifestyle, just at ends, righteous, a super earth. You're gonna see real superheroes. The Israelites.
When that 1,000 years come and we get rid of them damn Edomites, you're gonna witness true peace on earth for the first time in history.
Yep.
And that's going to be the beginning of the never end.
Yeah.
Because it's never going to end.
Yep.
Now the heathen, you're still going to have to die and come back, but you're going to have longer lives.
Yep.
You're going to have better lives.
Yep.
You're going to be subject to, this shit.
Yep.
We're not going to pump you with a bunch of shots and, tell you to take a pill every 2 hours, 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to give you a herb, nigga.
Yep. And
my stomach hurt. Here's some ginger.
Pray after you
pray. Yeah, right. Yeah, then pray.
Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, it's gonna be instant.
Yeah.
All that is gonna be instant. You ain't gonna have to wait such hours. No, we can activate that. Okay, we know what you've been doing. We keep the law, statutes, commandments. There's a blessing. Help. Because that's what they get on this side too. Is so if you follow Esau's, if you have righteousness, but even if you do good in this society, ain't no reward. The reward will serve the Lord, even for us, more for us. But for the nations in the kingdom, you keep the laws, you serve the Lord, you're gonna be blessed and more rain for your crop. But my crops ruined, I've been serving.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, cool. You good, Moab. Now get on out my face now.
Right.
You got your tithes. I was gonna get to you. Okay, boom. All right, you out of there. That's how it's going.
We're going to be merciful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not going to be after that 1,000-year period of the hardcore bondage. It's not going to be just a continual be ass beating. No, you're still going to be subject to us. Yeah. Okay, but we're going to give you your land. All right, now go follow the law and have somebody report back in. Yeah. Once every so often, once every new moon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be part of our job. Having people delegated over that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit, the remnant, that could be one of their jobs, and they come and report it up to one of us. Lord willing, we part of that 12,000 of the 12 tribes. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Going back to this Job 20, and that's why we need him to fall. Job 20 and 5, well, I already read that. 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach up to the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own shit. And don't say shit, but it's dumb. That's what it is. He's gonna like use it, flush the toilet. That's how this nigga gonna be out there. Come. It says, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Now I also, which saw him, shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. And it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. And that's what's going to happen. And really, they're seeking to please us as of right now. You know, now whether they're Jake or Edomites, we don't know. Well, some of them we know because they're off their spirit. And they've been doing this, you know, but a lot of making videos talking about, you know, with the Israelites and so on and so forth. You know, America has did all this wrong to them. So yeah, they're seeking to please the poor. But if they're Israelites, hey, that's a blessing up to them. You know, because really, Israel been complaining, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel. And soon you're going to have the Gentiles come in. You're going to the actual Gentiles, like meaning like not the heathen, but like for instance, we were Gentiles and this brother. You think he's a so-called white man? He's my tribe, you know, or another tribe.
Main tribe.
You know, but he's a
Yeah,
tribe.
yeah.
So that's getting ready to happen. You niggas
That,
finna get
tribe ain't important.
yeah, yeah. But no. But you fucking niggas about to get weeded up out of there. All you black ass niggas, you know, that look down on the Israelite foreigners. Niggas, you was one. You know, y'all finna get weeded up out of there. And then so, I'm gonna keep reading because I know you want verse. I mean, but really, shit, this whole chapter go in. I'm gonna get the main
Because
thing.
remember, being a Gentile is a mindset thing. It ain't got nothing to do with appearance.
Yeah,
Now we know the natural Gentiles, they'll vary in appearance, but you got heathens that look like Jake.
yeah.
The Lord don't really give a fuck about appearance. That's why you don't really see it much in the Bible. He doesn't really talk about it. It's irrelevant. If you're over here eating pork and worshiping sweet Jesus, you're basically a so-called white man,
Yeah.
regardless of how you look. And that's what the Lord's looking at, your actions, not your skin.
Because the Lord said that too. He said, basically, rough paraphrasing, if you don't follow me or listen, he shall be regarded as a heathen man. You know, so that's the Israelite. You don't hear this word, or you don't believe in the names, you don't believe in the doctrine, you're gonna be regarded as a heathen man. And so what's gonna happen to the heathen? They're gonna be destroyed. And so it says, Job 20, I'm gonna start at 22, because this goes to his NWO. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. So he's going to go through a path of difficulty. Because like I said in Psalm the 75th or 76th chapter, says that he's not in trouble as other man. But he's getting ready to be in trouble real soon. Because he thinks this NWO is going to benefit him. It's not for your benefit, bitch. It's a trap. The Lord got you in a trap. And that's the ultimate takedown. You know? And it says, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Eating is a pleasurable thing, you know. And it says too up above, when he began to fill his belly, when Jake eat good, what that nigga do? Some days only before they rub their stomach, it's a good feeling. So yeah. So when you begin to be like, man, my new world order, it's going to plan, you know, now I'm ready to see my stocks, or not stocks, but basically my benefits from doing this. That's the whole thing. Like, not bitch, I'm at the door. Give me that shit. He gonna take your shit. And the saints shall take the kingdom along with him. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon. And you got it. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through.
That's some nuclear missiles that it talks about in all throughout the scriptures. But if you can go to Second Esdras, 16, talks about the waves without trouble.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Because that's ultimately what's going to take Esau out, his own weapons. Right? Because like it says in the book of Isaiah, the Lord created the smith that bloweth the coals. You know, this is the waster that destroys that we're talking about here. You know, these scientists have developed these nuclear weapons for the sake of Esau's downfall. You know, and we've seen that it's came close before. During the time of the Cold War, the Russians were literally like a second away from pressing the button, and then they received a transcript or what was that? A fax, I think it was. That was back in the Cold War. How much more now? You see tensions, you know, and that doesn't mean nuclear destruction is next week. It's process behind this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we're seeing that process unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
We see these different prophecies, like keep talking about it. Straight a Hormuz thing. This isn't just going to disappear. They're keeping that there because they want to keep that in your mind, because that's going to give them an excuse to crash the dollar and crash the system.
Yeah.
Trump said on live TV how they came super close to basically if they didn't open it back up, America would have seen another Great Depression, and he don't want to be Herbert Hoover 2.0. Lo and behold, the strait closed again. War's back on. What does that mean? Those things he was talking about are about to be here. Within the next couple months, Lord willing, maybe next month, July. Well, it's a perfect month to have power outages. It's hot as fuck. Inside your house with no AC, it gets up to 120, cooking babies, cooking animals. You know, then there's no water. If they run out of fucking drinking water, that's going to cause uproars. That's going to cause crime. That's going to also probably lead to a famine because you need water for everything.
A lot of Americans, y'all like sodas and shit. So y'all not gonna make it. You know, y'all not gonna make it. Sodas and you know, it worked. Side note, it worked. You know, when niggas drinking Dr. Pepper, they sit on your fucking before you buy in for physical job, multiple physical jobs, you gotta drink the fucking 2 liter. Yeah, we got all day long. No water. You know, heavy demon. But how the fuck you make it, bro?
You had a bug out at one job. He told brother Yao and he told him that you don't really need to drink water. You just drink soda or something that has water in it. That's good enough. No, it's not good enough. It's not. You don't need to be drinking no damn soda. Okay? Now there's like, you know, healthier alternatives. Sparkling water. We got a brand the brand's kind of probably starting to slip now, but you got, you know, sodas that got like plant fiber in them.
Bubbly,
They help with your gut. You got kombuchas, all that type of stuff. That's cool. Just instead of having a root beer, get you one of them.
Yeah.
Instead of having a Mountain Dew, which that's just atrocious
In the morning.
But yeah, no, you don't need that shit. You can get you some fruit, put that in water. You know, make lemon water, lime water, strawberry water.
Yeah, cantaloupe. Not cantaloupe water, but milk and shit. I'm a cantaloupe thing. I like cantaloupe. Watermelon. It helps with having soluble fiber. You know, your gut is the main component of your body is to let you know what's going on. Even with your teeth. If you got bad gut bacteria over time, it can fuck with your teeth. And cavities come up. So you might floss and brush, take care of your health. If your gut is fucked up, not eating enough vegetables, it can fuck with your teeth. It won't take you. You know, right.
Yeah, you can start around with it.
All right, 2nd Ezra 16:11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his the arrows that he shooteth are short and shall not miss. They begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
It's back. Go there too. It liked it on the arrows. So it says the absolute farthest an arrow has ever been shot is about 1.16 miles. So how the hell are you going to shoot arrows across to the ends of the world? It's talking about ICBMs. So you see them being likened on the arrows, which represents the shape. right? Especially the arrowhead, which is the tip of the missile where the warheads are, which is what does the damage. Talks about in Revelations 9, it describes them, how they hurt. Talks about in Zechariah 14 and 12 how people are going to get melted, causing the earth to shake. I just read that.
Silos.
Yeah.
Them come out the silos, you know.
So put it together, right? What do they call not concept? Well, context.
Context, yeah.
Put it together. Put two and two together. This is talking about if it's got metal, it's got wheels, got a steering wheel, it's probably a fucking car, right? We can make that assumption. It's got 4 wheels, windows, and a stereo system. That's got to be a car. So why is it different with this? Shaped like arrows, it spreads fire. It's so powerful it shakes the earth. It's gonna melt everything, and they hurt. What does that sound like? A BB gun? This is a fucking missile, man. Like damn. You know, you people you don't want to see it. That's the problem.
Y'all scared.
Yeah, you scared. Yeah, that's the whole point.
But don't fear man, fear the Lord. I mean, the one that can destroy both soul and body in hell. Yeah. The Lord. This is the second death that we're talking about. You know, the rainbow, our beautiful, not monument, but our beautiful indicator that the Lord was going to flood the world. I'm saying was going to flood the world. The world wasn't going to flood the world no more. You know, what was I going to? Like, yeah, he said, yeah. So he said that basically the second death is going to be, you know, a fire. He's going to flood the world with fire this time, which that's going to happen here in America. America is going to be that lake of fire. We sitting on that sea of glass over that's us looking down. It's going to look like a lake. You're not going to be able to see the outline of Florida, fucking Maine, fucking Cali. This whole place will probably be certain fucked up. Ain't gonna be no waters like how it was anymore. Because the fucking fire is gonna have the shit lift up. When a nuclear bomb, hell, even a fucking regular rocket goes off, you got something where the air compresses and it does that. How much more when that shit goes to the ground and lift up shit? That's what's gonna happen.
That's that's that sacrifice of bottle that the Lord required.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And this soil has to be burned because why? The blood of the Israelites is blood soaked in America. And niggas wonder why you got all this paranormal activity because what you did starting with our brothers Gad and Reuben, and then what you did to the Southern Kingdom and the so-called Latinos.
Blood in America, sort of.
Yeah.
Unanswered.
Yeah. It's worse than what we were doing to each other. Yep.
Yeah, you try to compare Bloods and Crips to what you did, you know, Christopher Columbus, which he didn't even touch America.
Yeah.
You don't learn that until you're a grown man. You think that was the whole basis of this man was touching foot on America? He was nowhere near here.
Yeah.
But he fucked up you Latin tribes, you island tribes. He did treacherous, terrible things to you. Read about it. It's history. It's a simple Google search. But people just want to remain ignorant. But when the information is presented to you, you're no longer ignorant. Now you're arrogant. Those are two completely different things. That's why Yahushua said in John 15:21, if he had not come and spoken unto you, then you would have you'd have an excuse, but now you have no cloak for your sin. You have no excuse. We showed you, look, this is what it means. 2 + 2 is 4. If you walk away and you're talking about 5, that's your personal problem. We told you what it was. We broke it down to you. And that's the whole point of the prophets. It's first comes the prophets, then comes the prophecies. And with these prophecies, we're telling you there's going to be a lot of death and sorrow that's coming with this thing, man.
It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
Yeah, so once the famine hit, first Jake to get on his knees and scream, stop! You know what? He's right. Let's turn this famine back. Let's get him some bread and water. That's not how it's going to work. These plagues are sent to destroy. Like we quoted, I believe, earlier, the plagues of Egypt, because we're also going into a lot of things we went into yesterday in the lesson.
Oh, yeah.
But the plagues that hit Egypt is going to hit America, and worse. And then we know the ultimate plague is that nuclear fire that we're talking about. That's going to completely destroy this place, man. We're trying to save you from being a piece of walking charcoal. Because it's only a matter of time before the Lord decides to put that grill on and throw the burgers on there, man. So you got to change. You got to repent.
The elect gonna be at the cookout.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at well, Lord will, we are part of that number. We're gonna be at the cookout. Why you niggas get cooked? No, cause hey,
Yes.
and at that time, we can be boasting in righteousness. We told y'all so, but we're gonna be thankful at the same time, because that could have been us. We understand it, So it'll be a thankful moment at the same time. But like what the scripture says, all of Israel gonna be saved, and you'll come back to the place. So that's what it's gonna be. Okay. It says the fire is kindled, it shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth, like as an arrow once again. Like as an arrow, like a rocket.
Yeah.
Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. And then Ezra says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Showing that the prophets will be back at that time, the 2/3, everybody that was part of that generation at the time the Lord was being put on the cross is back today to receive that judgment.
Sure. We get a 55. This is just an inkling. The things that we're telling you that's coming, it's just an inkling of the destruction. You got to read the scriptures for yourself. You got to watch a million videos to get the full understanding of how terrifying this thing's going to be. And even still, it's going to exceed our expectations. And what we're telling you is you simply seek the Lord and apply his words. You apply wisdom, you apply faith, and you will be able to be in the secret place. Well, that is the secret place, it's true. But you'll be able to be in that fortress, that strong tower. You're going to be protected from these things. Psalms 91, you got to read that chapter. All these different plagues, scriptures talk about, I think it might be in Isaiah, or it might be Psalms, but it talks about how there's going to be a bunch of people dying on your left and on your right, but it's not going to come nigh thee. I think that's actually Psalms 91.
Yeah.
Right, but there's a lot of scriptures that go into Israel being protected. Book of Isaiah likens the nation of Israel unto a worm, but the Lord said, don't worry, thou worm-taker. He got us. He's going to protect us. He promised. We're not doing this for nothing. Your labor of love is not in vain.
Isaiah 55:11, it says, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void.
It's like how the plagues ain't going to return, the word ain't going to return. Because first comes the word, then the plagues. None of these things are going to be drawn back. It's full force. Mm-hmm. This is definitely World War III.
Yeah.
That's going on. That's starting up here. And we see that this time there's three sides. Yahweh Shemel Shai really made the first attack in 1969, 1970. He sent Abba Bibbins, Elijah the prophet. That was the first strike on America spiritually. Because we're not carnal men. We're not going to grab knives and guns and go run and do. No. We're going to sit on our couch on a Wednesday night and do a lesson. And bring out the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And that's more powerful than any weaponry that Esau has manifested in the earth.
That scripture that I had earlier. Second Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. And so the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And we're pulling down these strongholds that's on your upon your mind. World War III is gonna happen. The one who they call Jesus, that ain't his name. His name is Yahweh Shai, he's a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah. We the Israelites, so on and so forth. You're not black, you're not Latino, you're not Chinese, you're a Moabite, so on and so forth. We're breaking that veil also too, that's spread upon all nations. We're here to do all these things, the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, and then I'm going back to I read that. Oh, no. It says, I'm going to read this back over. Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth, and that's via the way of his prophets. It shall not return unto me in void. So when we preach this word, it's going to prosper until the thing whereunto he sent it, which is the elect. They hear this word, they're going to prosper from this. This word is going to prosper from that. It says, it shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper to the thing whereunto I sent it. And it says, but I ain't gonna read that. So it's not gonna return to the Lord void. Something else.
And you can keep reading, and you probably bring up the chill.
All right.
That's what I mentioned.
All right. We're gonna switch things up.
That's always the hot topic is the chip. You know, this so-called Jake, I'm saying so-called because you don't know really what the guy is. It's weird. All right, but this dude that took the brain, the brain seed,
Yeah.
he's all over the internet.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna scoff at that. All over the internet. That video got 5,000 views, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's circulating around the internet. Most people have seen it. Most people have heard about chip at least.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it's going to be in your face, in your hand,
Or hands.
yeah, or hands. Maybe you get a bonus check. You get two.
Yeah.
You don't know what this is the devil we're talking about.
Yep. I'm gonna get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of what Satan's about to do or his plans. We're telling you his plans. Starving our apostles. The Lord let our apostles and elders on down know the plan. The believers, the 1/3. We know his plan. He ain't gonna get over on us like how he got over on the people, or he's going to get over on the people, or really he's been getting over the people. He's going to continue that, because you're going to stay upon him, but the elect ain't gonna stay upon Esau either. So he ain't got no advantage over us. And also too, like I says in was it 1 John 2? Real quick, 1 John 2, I believe it's 2, like 21 or 22. It says, but you have, verse 20, John 2:20. It says, but you have an unction, which is an anointing from the Holy One, and you know all things. And yeah, we say we have 100% truth, which we do with the doctrine, but certain things we don't know, but the Lord gave us enough to know for salvation. That's it. That's all we need to know. We don't need to know about no fucking book of Enoch, Jubilees, none of that other bullshit. And plus, a lot of small heads made those fucking books. Edomites written those books. They have your mind going off into a whole nother direction. And that's also Satan getting an advantage over you. So how much more when it's chip is implemented and you don't believe in marketing? You can do it. So, main point.
Yeah.
Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls them all both small. And he calls them all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Oh, I'm going to keep reading. Okay. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So it's simple. Either you conform to the beast and you take the microseed, whether it be in the brain, whether it be in the hand, wherever. Either you take that and you continue in his society. Because Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked.
Yeah.
So the wicked is going to command his people, his servants, to do whatever he wants them to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, then the judgment that Esau is going to give upon you is death. We're telling you that death is better than worshiping Esau. That shows how defiled and how wicked and abominable this man is. It's better for you to go on the chopping block and get your head cut off than like get your head chopped off like a chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how Esau is going to look at it. Because that's all he looks at is anyway. He don't really give a fuck about you, Jakes, man. Talking about Esau. He don't care about you. You've heard that before. He'll shake your job and pat your back and buy you a cup of coffee at the job, but as soon as he gets home with his family, he's just talking shit about you. And for no reason. Because you didn't do nothing wrong. You're a good individual, right? You pay your taxes, you go to work, you're responsible, you're a good father. And it's not like Elder Malcolm was saying, it's not even because how you look. He don't give a fuck how you look. He hates your spirit. He hates the nation of Israel's spirit. Because that's how it was created to be. One vessel to honor and one to dishonor. Esau's soul hates Jacob's soul. That's why he hates all the tribes. He hates the Israelite foreigners. Because to him, it's the same thing. It's just one big clump of bullshit that I don't want in my kingdom. That's how he looks at it. You know, which really at the same time he wants you around just because you're profitable to have, keep people entertained, right?
Keep building society.
Yeah, exactly. For the labor force, right? All of that, because Jake is the salt of the earth. Esau wants to, even though he don't use salt, he's gonna keep it in the, he's gonna keep it on the counter to look good. So he wants Israel in the background, but he don't want a lot of Israel. You know, especially Israelites that try to reconnect with Yahweh Shema Shai. You really got to go, because that's threatening, his chains essentially. Because Yahweh Shai said the truth will set you free. That we are free. Realistically, we're free in the spirit right now. The Lord has released our bonds. We're just waiting to physically get to it. Because everything happens first spiritually before physically.
Right here, I got some. Matthew 16:25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So if you have to be put to death for the Lord, that's life for you. You're going to be heavily rewarded for that. And even if you're not put to death or you're persecuted, you're going to be rewarded. Don't miss out on the opportunity for something great, which is being part of the kingdom of heaven. Being one of the people that have, the rights of the house of Israel, or be a part of the rights of the house of Israel. That's what I meant. In the history books of our nation, because it said that the Lord has written so many things written, it can be contained in the scriptures. So how much more we empower? We're going to have writings and books. The heathens have that. How much more the Israelites? So think about that. We're striving for glory. The Lord God is his on earth. He's about to get his, but that man, they're gonna get something too. Yeah, we talked about the judgment, but that's what's at hand. But don't just dwell on the judgment. The bad, dwell on the good. Yeah, I'm gonna get this shit. Even if you don't feel like it. I got some type of hope. The scriptures gave me hope. Comforter. It's gonna tell you, we're told you it ain't gonna be easy. You already know what's expected. You don't want to take the chip, but you're not, because in the back of your mind, it's like it's burning, really working. And ain't no time limit on that burn when it happens. As soon as that wind, that fire hits you, your eyes begin to fucking melt. That can be feeling like forever. Like eternity, because it said they smoke is going to stand forever and forever, but that don't mean 100 years or 200. To be honest, I don't know. But it's going to be a long time.
It's not literally forever that America's going to burn. Because if America was burning forever, how would they handle it?
Yeah.
Right? It's just like how, I think in the book of Jude, it talks about how Sodom is burning forever. It's not still burning. It means a period of time, a long period of time.
Yeah.
It's just basically what it's saying is its judgment is known in earth. Like people are not going to forget this. It's a monument. Just like even Lot's wife. Because like we're talking about the MOTB, if you take that, you're like Lot's wife and look back. You got men looking back now because they miss having a free weekend, because they miss being all up under their woman all the time. They might miss their old job. You need to let all that shit go and keep it behind you and focus on what's ahead. There's a lot greater, bigger things going on in Babylon, man, for the future, because America doesn't have another 250 years. We'll put all the money in the earth on that.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Put all the money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I put on that's a good part. Like,
how forbid we even got a couple.
Yeah.
Like the elder from Chicago, Elder Yawana, he made a video saying this time next year we could be in the kingdom. You don't know, but things are moving fast, very fast now. Because some of the brothers who think it might be elders now from Men of Valor, even they put up a title. Iran is talking. They're talking about a nuclear bomb. The IRGC or whatever. Yeah. They're talking about a nuclear bomb. So what's that? America's not going to be destroyed anytime soon, because we still got to see the MOTB like we're going into. We got things that still got to happen, but that type of talk being brought up shows that, and because nukes can still be used prior to the destruction. Israel could get destroyed by nukes well before America. It could be at the same time. We don't know exactly how it's going to play out. We just know what's going to play out. They could use a pocket. There could be an EMP because they're talking about nukes. They might just put an EMP over this bitch. It could affect the whole U.S. or maybe just the East Coast. But that's going to do a lot of infrastructural damage. So regardless, we're not dead. We're alive. We're awake. We see what's going on. You people, you don't know what's going on. You're watching the World Cup, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Right, but you're infatuated with it. That's all you're worried about. You wake up thinking about how this team beat that team or how the Knicks won the finals. Bro, first of all, the Knicks won the finals and you're still broke. So what the hell did that change? You still got baby mama problems. All right, your boss still gives you help. So what did the Knicks winning change? It didn't change anything. It felt good for 5 minutes. So it's time to invest in the real treasure, which is Yahweh Shemel Shai, and this knowledge. This might have been the most miserable years of our life because we've been in the truth, but it's been the greatest of our life too. The balance. We don't want to be lied to. We don't want sugar-coated shit. Like a pile of shit. We don't want that. Here you go. It's got a bunch of sprinkles on it, shit,
Honey.
cinnamon. No, we want it. We're eating the bitter herbs at Great Millstone, man. All right, we're eating the horseradish.
It's not bad. It's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah,
And it don't taste good. You just gave. That's it.
it's not supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to remind us of Egypt, of bondage.
Bitter.
Yeah, the bitterness. Everything bitter is better for you. Things ain't supposed to always be sweet. You gotta have that balance.
Even with the times to come, that's the balance of America. Running out of food, other countries with them. Like I said, I believe we're like 17 or 18, the birds came in touch. America ain't been through nothing. They had it good, which is that's part of their blessing. Now their blessing is being stripped away. So now it's the hardship. Every country went through that. Hell, us, the nation of Israel. Yeah, we in America, but a lot of hardships we went through. We are on the team. We went through. Other nations ain't do that. Chinese ain't went through that. The Japanese, in second Ezra 3, it says that the heathen flowing wealth in Babylon. It's the same here. But East Indian, dirty fuck niggas can come from over, even the land of Elon, come over here, get homes, businesses, the hotels, the gas stations. It's different class systems within them. They're able to do that and get up over you. But now they're going through it. All the nations going through it. We've been going through it. And these people might hate black joy, so-called black joy, because with us going through those hardships, even though we got 2/3, 1/3, as a whole, we're doing better than you niggas because we're used to this. We're used to the hardship. And that's the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai upon the nation. 2/3 too, even though they're in the heathen mind state. You will never be able to fully destroy the nation of Israel. It would never happen. Never happen.
That would make the Lord a liar.
Yep.
And he's not no regular Joe Schmo. He's not a man. The Most High. He's not a liar. So whatever he told us is going to happen. It's going to take place. That's including the salvation of Israel. Mm-hmm. Which salvation really goes into being delivered from our own bodies, our flesh, and our enemies.
Yep.
Because your flesh is a bigger. If it weren't for the flesh, we wouldn't have to deal with our enemies.
Yep. Our
flesh is the reason why we're subject to all this vanity right now.
I got something. Because Iran was they were talking about Iran having that nuclear bomb or thinking about a nuclear bomb. This is Ezekiel 38, and I'm gonna start at 10. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." And at this time, the Lord's gonna put the mind on these other nations, Russia, the allies of America, to hit that butt. Russia got their dead hand program. If they if they command posts say all they top commanders get hit or they die, their system will automatically shoot off nuclear missiles. So that's that evil thought coming to mind. Russia got songs about that. They got a beautiful song talking about how they're gonna take down Babylon or America. Yeah, and you can look it up. That's beautiful. But guess what? They got to go too. Because a lot of them are the same thing as people over here. They Edomites. But a lot of them are Israelites because we were in that land. You know? So Russian army, people Russia, it's a lot of Israelites. It's like all other nations been scattered. We're the most populous nation on earth. Look, China and India, you got more Israelites than them.
Israelites there.
Yeah, yeah.
That you don't know. I mean, literally, physical Jake-looking Israelites.
Yeah.
But then also Israelite foreigners. Who has ancestors that go back to one of the 12 tribes.
Yeah.
A lot of kids. Man, it's a lot of shit.
I hate when the flies leave.
Is that it on that?
Yep. Because this land is also known as the land of unwalled villages. America doesn't have no protection around this place. The borders of America touch Mexico. They're trying to build up a wall, but that's not protection, bro. So it says, verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest. These Americans, they're at rest. Yeah, we have some financial woes and gas and food prices, but these people still at rest. It's a nice, warm, hot fucking day in the park. You walking your dog, jogging, doing push-ups, shadow boxing, wherever you went.
Yeah.
All that shit, bro. Them troops, y'all, out of there. You ain't shadow boxing shit. Yeah, you ain't
blow his house.
No. So these people are at rest, and all of them dwelling. Oh, Slocky. I will go to them that are at rest and dwell safely in America. This place ain't been touched, like how I was going into. This place is like a version, but you got to get touched real soon. She ain't gonna like this. It says,
Great.
all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates. So nothing's here to protect America. And especially when the missiles come. Ain't no missile defense system that America got. It ain't so. Because this whole time, the Lord put it in mind that Esau think that he'll never get touched. I'm going to be a king forever. Babylon, I said Babylon. America ain't going to get hit. Who's going to touch us? We got the nuclear missile. But all other nations got it now.
So I want to bring this out. If you don't have any,
No, nothing.
Just to resort it all back, talk about Yahushua again, because he's the one that's going to restore the nation of Israel. He's the one that's going to make all this shit go away. So this is Luke chapter 4, and our people were angry when he said this. When he was leaving the synagogue, when he was in the synagogue on the Sabbath day. It says Luke chapter 4, verse 17. It says that there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And in the NLT at verse 19, it says, and that the time of Yahweh's favor has come. That's the good news. Like it says in Lamentations, if we can get that real quick, Lamentations 4.
About captivity.
Yeah. Because Israel, like Scripture say, Israel is assuredly drank of that cup. Israel's drank that cup. That big gulp. But we're coming into the time when we're at the bottom of that cup. There's no more, and there's no free refills. So we ain't buying this shit again.
Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz, i.e. America. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. And it says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
So there's two big things that's going on. The cup is about to be passed to Esau, the nation of Edom, collectively known as the so-called white man, for all the atrocities and crimes and wickedness that he has committed. He will have to drink that cup. His sentence is about to begin. Because this is court. Ours is about to be done. And we're never going to see the prison walls again. We're going to live the rest of our existence, not life, existence, forever, outside of the walls of prison and be able to enjoy families, land, wealth.
World traveling, world, actually,
Yeah.
the world, universe.
Traveling, peace, rest. You know, we're actually going to be able to live lives worth living. And that's through Yahweh Shai. So why do Yahweh Shai, man? Because without the Lord, we'd be fucked. Guaranteed.
That's like the Sodom and destroyed, not opposed. Would be like them to being destroyed.
Yeah.
You know? Matthew 4:17. It says, from that time, Yahweh Shai began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
So that's one of the main topics that we've been talking about the entire camp. Repentance. Because the good news is that this is all about to come to an end. It's all about to be wrapped up. Right? We're about to witness the climax. Okay? Then the falling action and the resolution. The resolution is the kingdom of heaven. The climax, Jacob's trouble. The falling action is when you, well, no, shit. Because getting beamed up is a climax as well. It's not literally like how Esau said like that. You know what I'm trying to put in your ear.
The resolution is the Edomites being done away with.
Yeah.
Wickedness will finally be off the earth.
Yeah, so the falling action would be slavery.
Yeah.
All right, got that one right. Well, you got anything else on that? So, Lord, when at this camp, was edifying. Before we close, we're going to face the east. We're going to give all praises.
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Sakodash.
The honors go out to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, salutations to the whole elect.
Shalom.
What is that? Why should we keep